How to grow construction business, year-end planning. How to grow construction business, planning for success in just 15 minutes by Shawn Van Dyke. Developing a strategy for how to grow your construction business in the new year requires planning. In fact, the act of planning is more important than the plan itself. The plans you make today are for a world that will change tomorrow. And knowing how to plan will ensure that you can adapt today's plan to tomorrow's reality. Dwight D. Eisenhower is quoted as saying, "In preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable." Year-end planning forces you to think about, evaluate, and prioritize the steps that will meet the goals for your construction business in the coming year. How to grow a construction business, year-end planning. If you've never made a year-end plan for your construction business based on the previous year's data, then you might be at a loss as to where to start. Well, here's a 15-minute planning exercise to grow your construction business in the new year. Now note, these numbers that are used in this exercise are very simple in nature and should be readily available even if your books are a mess. And a deeper financial analysis should be performed at the time that you have more data available. But this is a good place to start. So here we go. Step 1. Determine your target revenue. Slow, purposeful growth is profitable, sustainable growth. If something grows by 15% each year, then that thing will double in size in 5 years. See the chart below for a construction business with a current revenue of $750,000. 5 years is a lifetime if you are in Silicon Valley. But most construction companies are small businesses with owner-operators, not venture capital-backed startups. 15% growth year over year for 5 years demonstrates a healthy, sustainable construction business. Target revenue equals current revenue times 1.15. Based on the table above, the target revenue for this construction business is, the target revenue equals $750,000 times 1.15%, which equals $862,500. Now note, increasing your current revenue to your target revenue does not mean that you will be more profitable. You will need to perform a deeper financial analysis of your net profits. This step is to provide you with a general target revenue. So step number 1 is determine your target revenue by taking your current revenue and multiplying it times 1.15 or increasing it by 15%. Step 2 is to determine your revenue per employee. You achieved your current revenue by putting work in place, and that work was performed by your employees. Now you can determine the production metric, revenue per employee, or RPE. See this article for more info on the revenue per employee metric. So RPE, revenue per employee, equals your current revenue divided by the total number of employees. For example, let's assume that the company above had 4 production employees, and that's employees that are in the field putting work in place. The RPE for the current year is $750,000 divided by 4 employees, which equals $187,500. Step number 3. Determine the number of field employees needed to hit the target revenue. Now that you know your current RPE, you can determine how many employees you need to achieve your target revenue in the new year. So it's the number of field employees needed equals the target revenue divided by the current revenue per employee. And for this example, that would be the target revenue of $862,500 divided by the current RPE, $187,500, and that equals 4.6, or 4.6 employees at that revenue per employee of $187,500 to hit the $862,500 number. All right, follow me so far. Now, it's very hard to hire 60% or 0.6 of a person because we came up with the number of field employees needed to be 4.6. You'll probably have to hire a whole person, so your projected number of field employees would round up to 5. But at your current RPE, your target revenue would also need to increase to account for the additional whole person. Your adjusted target revenue is your current revenue per employee times the number of field employees. And in this example, we rounded up to 5. So it would be the RPE of $187,500 times 5, which is $937,500. But before you decide to run out and hire a person and increase your sales volume, you might be able to reach a higher revenue per employee by employing these 2 tactics. So step number 4, Increase your revenue per employee, your RPE, through performance and price. Number 1, be more efficient. If you increase the efficiency of your field employees, then you increase your revenue per employee. For example, let's say that you increase your field employees' efficiency by 7%. Your RPE would go from $187,500 to $200,625. Adjusted RPE, $187,500 times 1.07 equals $200,625. Well, how do you raise the efficiency by 7%? One way to do this is to break this percentage down into actionable items that can be easily performed by your employees. For example, 7% of an hour is only 4.2 minutes. If you ask your employees to come up with ways in which they can save 4.2 minutes per hour, or about 30 minutes per day on an 8-hour workday, then my guess is that you'll be able to increase your efficiency by approximately 7%. This is not impossible when you break it down like this. We're just talking about saving 30 minutes a day. Tactic number 2, raise your price. Another way to increase your RPE is to charge your customers more money for the same amount of work. If you increase your prices, then your margins will increase, or they should increase, and then you will increase your revenue per employee. For example, using the RPE we just calculated above, your RPE would go from $200,625 to $220,688. That is the $200,625 times 1.1%, or adding 10%, equals $220,688. Step number 5, determine your optimal number of employees. Using the RPE calculated above, we can determine the number of employees needed to hit the target revenue. So now we take the target revenue and divide it by the adjusted RPE. I know this is a lot of numbers, but check out the blog post and you can follow right along. So we take our target revenue of $862,500 and divide it by our adjusted RPE, where we increased our efficiency by 7% and we also increased our price by 10%. So that RPE was $220,688. Divide $862,500 divided by $220,688 and you get the optimal number of employees, which is 3.9, which is right at the 4 employees that we're using in this example. So based on the optimal number of employees and the adjusted RPE, you may be able to make the gain in target revenue without adding an employee. Step number 6, determine your quarterly goals. Once the target revenue has been set, we can determine not only the revenue we need to produce each quarter, but the revenue per employee per quarter for each employee. So the quarterly revenue is pretty easy to calculate. It's just your target revenue divided by 4 quarters. And in this example, we have a target revenue of $862,500, and we divide that by 4 quarters. That equals $215,625. That's the amount of work that you're going to have to sell, put in place, and collect each quarter to hit your $862,500 goal. And we can break that number down, the $215,625, and divide it by 4. That's the number of employees that we have. So then our quarterly RPE, or revenue per employee per quarter, is $53,906. All right, we're almost done. Step number 7, evaluate your quarter 1 schedule. Now, look at the amount of work on the books for the first quarter and total the amount of work that can be put in place, invoiced, and collected in the first quarter. Let's assume that you have $225,000 worth of work booked for the first quarter of the new year. You can do a quick production capacity check to verify that you can meet that goal. For example, we know that your quarterly RPE is $53,906. That is your revenue per employee per quarter. The worked book for this quarter is $225,000. You can now determine the number of employees it will take to get the work completed. So you just take the dollar amount of the work booked in quarter 1 and divide it by the quarterly RPE. The amount of the work booked in quarter 1 we said was $225,000. Divide that number by $53,906 and you get 4.17. So this quick calculation will show you that you need 17% more production in the first quarter to meet the production that's on the books. If you hire someone in the first quarter, then the target revenue for the year will be based on 5 employees working all year at an RPE of $220,688. If you hire someone in the first quarter, then the target revenue for the year will be based on 5 employees working all year at an RPE of $220,688. This was calculated in step number 4 above. So the new target revenue would be 5 employees times $220,688, which is $1.1 million, plus or minus. If you decide that you will make up the additional 17% by working overtime rather than hiring another employee, then you can plan your schedule accordingly. On average, your employees will be working 17% more, or 46.8 hours each week. That's just 40 hours times 1.17, which is an increase of 17%. Planning your overtime work in the short term, 3 months, may be more cost effective than hiring a new employee. That's a 12-month time period. Step number 8, determine what actions must be taken in the first quarter to succeed in the second quarter. Going through this planning process will give you the information you need to make decisions in a timely manner. Now you can set sales, training, production, and hiring goals to meet the revenue projections you just established, and you can go forward into the new year with confidence that you are working a plan. Step number 9, publish your goals. Now you have the plan. Publish the plan to your team and talk about the decisions that went into the planning. A study conducted by Dr. Gail Matthews shows that people who write down their goals and share them with others are almost twice as likely to accomplish those goals than people who didn't write them down at all. Summary: you have completed the most important task for your construction business, planning for success. Even if your books are a mess, you probably know your total revenue and you can calculate your RPE, or revenue per employee. This planning exercise is not designed to provide you with a detailed financial analysis. This will take more data and more tracking, but use this information to develop a plan for the new year. When the plan is in place, then you can start analyzing other things in your business like costs, expenses, and net profits. And before you know it, you'll have a more in-depth view of your construction business and the factors that directly affect your bottom line. But you don't need to wait for more information or a deep analysis to set goals and lay out a plan for the new year. Use the 9 steps listed above and make a plan for the new year. Break the plan down into smaller goals and publish the metrics as the weeks and months go by. Benjamin Franklin is credited with saying, "If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail." Don't fail. Do the planning, work the plan, grow your construction business. Happy New Year. Need help streamlining your construction business? Sign up today to receive a free copy of the Paperwork Punch List, 28 Days to Streamline Your Construction Business. And this book is available exclusively for free at ShawnVanDyke.com/thepaperworkpunchlist. That's ShawnVanDyke.com, ShawnVanDyke.com/thepaperworkpunchlist. Hey, Shawn Van Dyke here. I just wanted to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to this audio post. Email me any questions or comments you might have at my email address, which is connect@ShawnVanDyke.com. That's CONNECT @ShawnVanDyke.com. And let me know what you think. Thanks so much.